Right. I bring warm greetings to Fambulem. This na TNN TV Media Empire. Today, the 20th of February, 2022. Me now on a host and presenter, Prince Emil Koma, the canto on live from the United Kingdom. Just before we go forward with tonight's program, just one for talk about Storm Eunice, we battered the coast of England and actually left some people dead in the trail and damaged property as well. And we just want to say we hats off to them family, then we suffer as a consequence of that storm United. And we also want for call on Fambulele and not forget because the storm not finished as yet because we got another one what they expect say what would they expect say go come by tonight, running down to tomorrow. I think then call on Storm Franklin. They caution everybody for take relative care and precaution for avoid any sort of casualty because we don't want any regrets as at this point in time. So anyway, like I've been say, Fambul and welcome to the Tended Media Empire. Mina host, Prince Koma. As you can see the title, a very, very special one. Today we want to separate facts from fiction. Facts from fiction. You know, Fambul, for quite some time now, the lie nine smack, the propaganda, some of it tasteless, has no taste at all. Now, in just dump a smack. And as a consequence of this, we'll be not safe from the beginning of this year that we're going to push against certain things them. We're going to push against them because it's not good for we people them at all. It's not good. The level of propaganda and the tasteless one them will not make no sense at all. We're all in the cause now for help for make further disunity. We really need for push against them. So as a consequence of that, we decide say we go carry out that message today and begin for do as we been promised. Let me say this, Fambulem. Okay. We they ask question as to the kind of measure where a country or its people then suppose for they make the arguments about. Like when we talk about elevating the argument, for example. What in exactly suppose here for be? What kind of an argument that we want or for the embark on for show say we country they kind of make progress if you like. How will they critique the two-party system we get? Because the other one them then are the fringes, of course. We know multi-party. In fact, more than one are multi-party. We get about 17 of them, and we know still now about 4-5 of them sort of functional in terms of parliamentary role. The other one, them, although political party, not only they exist for all power, they get many other jobs they will they do as well. But in this two-party, we get APC and SLPP. How do we critique them? Waiting na the whichever way we critique them, both in the past and now, the outcome always seem to be the same because now the two party they no more than they win power and form government. And how about we the people who begin for change we ways? We begin for reason differently. Okay, we begin for reason differently. How about doing that? Just so we can effect or exact some measurable changes. Now we government them where eventually they come and can govern we. If not the two party then get for continue for the govern we because it not look like say we're ready for the change it for a third force, then how do we elevate the conversation for change the two party they are the govern we? You see, Famulem, one of the business of tonight, we'll decide for push against, and we don't talk about this, we'll get many programs to that effect, which is about the new kind of identity politics, if you like. The blind loyalty to party instead of country. This is not something where we don't the trumpet now this particular platform for a number of years now. So this is not new at all. Okay. Um Instead of people and they team up for their country and their fellow countrymen, instead we are arguing almost all of the time. Now, media pressure space and time for man them a party or just the party, even though the party then they lead we into some kind of chaos. Typical example will be the party in power now, because the other party not in power. But if the other party was to come into power, this is what the argument is about. They might be leading us down that same path, or they make little changes. And then that's the argument between the two party them and the supporter them. And this need for change, how does it change? We need for elevate we conversation. You see, this blind loyalty we individual and they pay to party simply because of tribe or the region where they come out. For a long time, we don't dey avoid for mention the T word and the R word, which is the tribe and the region. But the more and more we do with studies, the more and more we dey appear for CC. This is exactly waiting the case turn out for B. This is exactly waiting they happen. People that they support party because of the region and the tribe. Let's take another example again today with the government in power today. I mean, the government in power is struggling, okay? Is struggling, badly so. The economics of the country is poor, really, really poor. And the fact that we people them are massively, massively suffering, massively suffering. You don't need to be on the ground, off the ground. This is something which is very, very obvious. People are complaining. You see the prices of goods and services just the skyrocket on a daily basis, no controls at all. So we see these things. But yet you see people and they come out and defend the government instead of criticizing them and asking them, to up their game so that they can do something in behalf of the people. But unfortunately, this is not the case. Instead, you get the people and still they back the government to some extent, in a very ferocious way, in a very fundamentalist kind of way, extreme kind of way. And we don't sit down, we don't think, we don't look, we don't study. And the only conclusion we can to, because it's just the same people, is simply because they are affiliated to the government, either by region or by tribe. This is a fact. It's established. It's established. Anybody can do a sample study today of people where they make the argument for and against. You can actually see those that are for and those that are against. And then you can determine the ones that are for, why are they for? And the reasons, like I just say, governments, they really struggle. The economics of the country is bad. Poverty is up. People are struggling. Now, one small segment that then they enjoy, and the few around where comes they for down to, now then they go and make argument strongly. So we know that this is no strange. It's not strange at all. So what we say is, why not we elevate this conversation to issues of policy? And they talk about this issue of governance rather. So the debate we they have most of the time, spending precious time and precious space, should be based on policies. That's what I'm talking about. It should be policy oriented, if you know what I mean. The debate for be based on policy. I can't emphasize that more. You can't see a government they flunk, okay, and you continue for back them on which basis? And like I say again, when you check them up, it's based on tribe and region. It's about time we begin for call them as such. That's what it is. Do the studies and not act. Just go on social media. Just look at the papers. Just see who's talking. And you definitely get what they talk about. But most people are not interested in talking about policies. No, they are not. Yeah. Instead of we base with conversation on policy, most people are not interested. But we're not going to give up. We go continue for emphasize, that in the 21st century, we get for raise we game, Sierra Leoneans. It is an obligation. It is an obligation that we should raise our game. Other than that, we go continue for suffer at the hands of a two-party system. Jack and Jill, or John and Harry, or Alusain and Alasan. That's what it's going to be. So if not then two party they are for the government, we the people need forget a mindset change. The other day I talk about in this revolution of mind, we don't need for bring everybody come on board as at this time, because time is of an essence. So the one then we sharp now and ready, we need for convert them quickly, and then we can convert the rest later. But if we say we wait for everybody for get on board, that's going to take us eternity, forever and ever, perpetual. So the game need for change. We need for raise we game. We need for begin for talk about policies. Now, so for they make judgment. You see, this now the SLPP the manifesto. Now the manifesto this. Next week we go tear this manifesto apart. When I say tear them apart, I mean we go do a hair splitting moment. Look at them thoroughly, waiting them say, and waiting they happen inside these first 5 years. Waiting we see. This na the document and we know what manifesto mean. Now this na in sell to we the people. On this basis, we elect them to power. I've been on say this before, very powerful manifesto, but more like in words than in deeds. So next week we go touch on this. So as I say, instead of we dey talk about policy, we don't. We just take and then small mumunyere argument them. Now we depend. While the government continue for they do almost nothing, and they want convince we say then they do something. Do something is the economy is working for the people, that there is money in people's pocket to spend. In other words, you create opportunity for people and for get jobs. And when they get a job, then get money because they get paid and then they pay their taxes. So money they around. Government self they get return, they get money for spend because they don't provide for in people them. People then get money in their pocket, so people are happy. Win-win, if you know what I mean. Win-win. The three co-equal branches of government is only in name, not a function as such, you know. But Famulem, I mean, just they digress. Although they seem for they in alignment with what you want to talk about. In other words, pushing against the level of propaganda and the cheap one them at the expense of the country and the people. You get people and just they perambulate. They all over the place. Just they talk because they get free time for talk. They mislead with people them. Okay, they mislead with people them. Somehow then they try for figure out a way in which they can stifle with voices through intimidation. I just released one tape today, I think about 5 or 6 minutes, where I've been doing with Cherno about the African Express, where it give we an outline of exactly what thing that happened. And remember, this was then, and it's happening now. This is what social scientists then can do. Put all this logic together and push them forward or look forward, and nine bang bang nine they play in front of us right at this particular time. Look, Fambolem, you know the Mabang Bridge and the Mabele Bridge, where now the focus of the conversation here this evening. Now the focus of the conversation here this evening, we don't see in our media for 11 years, and Escoma they pass na Magbele Bridge. No bilam, no make 'em, which is true, and not make 'em. Because every project is time skill. Mabang Bridge, the same thing, if for done, oh, look out from where for done. Then, because government not to event na process, you take over from your friend, you continue for do it your friend be left or halfway or way not been do, or maybe be start them or it be non-generate fund or seek out them. They're not really see that money had been allocated for this project. The project was a done project because the money did not allocate done. 40 million euro. The Mabang Bridge, I think, cost something like 9 million, and we will show evidence here today. And at that make bing bing, we decide to touch on this because we want to push back on some of them cheap propaganda, which just they mislead with people them. And saying this, of course, plays into the hands of the APC, it plays into the hands of the former president. But the bottom line is this is actually true. This is the truth. The truth. Had you told the truth, they will not get the time, for council and can begin outline this thing. Because it seemed not for go away. I hear people and they blame me. Oh, people and dying at the bridge because the man not fix it for 11 years been passed up. Well, you can't fix everything at the same time. But we can say now, and most people ain't gonna know, but for them one they will not know. The Anesco government will not allocate money for the bridge. The EU be not they fund the bridge them. It's a host of projects them with them in the fund under $40 million, euro, where the Anesco government negotiate for and get. and part of them project and been they on. They been they go on. So we want to begin to bring evidence as I dey say today. I want to show one or two pictures quickly of myself, if you know, if you don't mind. Okay. I want to show one or two pictures of myself. So document a bit. Fambulem, una si usa ude? Una si usa we go? Una see usa we dey, and una see where we are going with this. I hope I don't provide some oversight on this particular bridge and project, so we don't understand and limit it for clarity's sake. Now let's jump on something quickly. Yeah, coffee on the coal. When President Bio been a campaign, I make a mention on the document "One Country, One People," the SLPP. We'll go look into this this coming week. But when he been in campaign, part of the thing and way he promise: one, Lunge Bridge; two, electric train; three, 2 million jobs; four, a diagnostic center; five, Econ Lights; six, the Bill Gates investment; seven, Shabro city, a city in Shebra land; eight, Town Coastal Road; nine, the Idris Elba investment; 10, the Kenema City carpet grass. I think that has been delivered, so we must give an kudos for that. 11, the Tapa Bakery. 12, 2 airport for Kenema and Banff. 13, 200 garbage trucks. 14, conference center in Freetown. 15, a shopping mall in Freetown. 16, an ultra modern office space for MDAs, ministries, development departments, and agencies. 17, new state house in Freetown. 18, new cities. Goodness me. New cities, 2 in Freetown and 1 in Lunge. 19, a cold room facilities in every headquarter town. 20, a fish harbor complexes. 21, agro processing. 22, Baikonur hydro project. 23, 50 investors from South Africa. 24, launching XYZ project. Fambulem, that's about 24 projects there where the president promised he go do for the country. And up till now, we are yet to see these particular projects. Up till now, I repeat, we are yet to see this particular project. So you don't see the projects them way so named, where are called just now, and these are facts, these are things that the president promised he go do. It's not done them. We're not seeing them. We're not seeing the Lunge Bridge. We need to see the investor there. We need to see the new city, now Shebra land. We need to see the Selba investment, not the Bill Gates investment, not the diagnostic center. Where they be promised. We remember one check where Francis Ben Kaifala of the ACC been give the president, then say they go use them for diagnostic center. The bottom line is none of this has been seen at all. The thing that we see now leftover project from the last government where there is nothing wrong for this government for continue with them. But the reason why we talk about it again today is because in certain quarters, they are claiming this. And in the end, blaming somebody else, with that person, they're not supposed to get blame at all. Every day for 11 years, the president, former president, they pass now this road. We almost die there. People then die there. Not fix the place. Well, you cannot fix all of the place at the same time. You can't embark on all them projects and they at the same time. But you can embark on negotiation after negotiation and try for get the money for do the project. And this is exactly what the past government did. They negotiate for that, and when I don't see the document to that effect, and when I visit the EU website, the document is there for all to see. That they negotiate 214 billion leons, the equivalent of 47 to 48 million euro for that entire project, not only the bridges. So I hope say we put this argument to rest. So next time on social media or wherever, when somebody begin for put that kind of business there for say, well, this particular thing here, now we make them. If it were not for us, this bridge will not be in place. Just tell them that it's a shared responsibility. Okay? But we do understand that the Kuruma government did not build the bridge, but they had negotiated the loan and the project had been launched, and it was a matter of time for let them commence the project. So if you can take over and you commence the project, well, all good, especially for country. But then in the desperation for try for say, you they do something, which of course you are doing, but you are at the same time trying to point a finger of blame on the person who prepared the project for you, negotiate for the money and present the money or left the money for you with the design structure of everything we're supposed to take place for the two bridges, including the roads, Moyamba to Moyamba Junction roads, and all them project in the you can't even find the decency of saying thank you and we'll take them from Usai you left and continue. But you get this propagandists them all over the place just to give the government bad name because me no one say the government they approve of that. It play to their advantage, but not for the only the idiots, the fools. And Sierra Leoneans are smarting up. They are smarting up. So when they do that thing and they not to all man they talk, but some people will just they laugh. Because the measure of propaganda, I mean, it's so cheap. Like I mentioned the other day again, somebody go give school a name, the former president a name to a school. And for some reason the school became dilapidated because whoever ever organized the school did not take care of the school. But then suddenly it became the ex-president's business, something where he probably not even know of. So the Mabang Bridge owner CBME Fambulem, this bridge, they may not negotiate the money for run, they may not draw the project design and everything. Everything had been done except for the physical bridge itself to be built for them for commence the building of the bridge. And you know, say project is time scale. Other projects that may they go on around the country, but the money had been negotiated for. Please check you document them, you EU document them, you EU website. You see exactly what they talk about. Yeah. Okay, Fambul. Another thing what would they say is I hope so I don't take note of all of that. That all the thing where the president promised we say he go do, he's not done them. We are yet to see the Tapalapa bakery. And imagine the Tapalapa bakery. This is only $2 million. Why up till now it's not been built? I mean, this is serious, but at the same time, there is hilarious as well. The seriousness about this is, you know, the office of the president is not a small business at all. It's not a small thing, and the occupant is a person with dignity, integrity, and respect, and the people them around them are equally or supposed to be equally so. That everything what they do in the name of the electors, yeah, should be straightforward. But we continue to see the opposite. Why the president in plan of them go allow the president for go turn over dirty, you know, they call a sword, turn over the sword when it's on ceremonial business, when they're ready for launch something. The president has done this, and yet still, a couple of years down the line, we are yet for see this 2 million bakery. We are yet for see this 2 million bakery. What really happened? I wasn't for it. I mean, it was some kind of a development, but you can imagine that all the small artisanal people are now along the way, all the small bakery them, and we sabi bake bread. We've been baking bread for like decades. We not develop that industry. We go bring a state of the art. The president described it at the time. We been a consuela all the FF business then they. Well, if you been a provide an alternative business, or then people need them for being employed into that bakery, then if I be fine enough and I don't know waiting be entailed in terms of the deal, but my understanding is the expertise for being come off from Guinea. Now Guinea and then they can invest Tapalapa bakery, but yet we not see them. The shopping mall, we not see them. And many other things. I just named 24 of them. Garbage trucks, yes, we did get some. Where are the rest? But we can't press on that because at least we saw some of it. But the major projects are yet to be carried out. Just a proof for show fambulency. For letting things there happen, it takes a while for let a government settle in and then begin for talk with you donor partners them self they study you for see how you come, whether you they honor your international obligation them and the rest of it. And then gradually then begin for dish out, your funding to you, or now begin for negotiate on potential project them, like the project them where you outline now your manifesto, because you get for go look for fund for them, and then begin for approve, and then provide the fund. That takes time. And I said this from the beginning. So then project there are where the president the touch and then road project. These are leftover project from the previous administration. And we just proved that because we name all the things that were the president promised we are yet to see them. So the project then where they go on, thank you, Mr. President, that you carry on. Fambulem, this they go to the propagandists, them, the lie people them on media. The lie one them on media. These are the ones that we are calling out. When you talk something, let it be factual. If you don't get a fact, stay away from it. Stay away from it. But we know you're so desperate for calm, so governments go recognize you. So crumbs the way they fall off go fall on you. And in the process, they can't mislead Sierra Leonean people. No, we're not allowing that. No way. 2022, TNN, TV media empire, go after people the way they lie in the media. I mean, if we lie, you can come after us as well. But be ready for proof that. Because what they say now for debunk you is we they prove them to you with factual documents, citation, where we they always do now a reference. And in this case, we don't refer you to the EU website. We will show you clearly, say, funds had been negotiated and approved and given to the government of Sierra Leone, 40 million plus euro for a massive project, one of the most massive ever in the country, one of the most in its history. 2 bridges with 2 or 4 lanes, back-to-back road projects, all in the south, mind you. So Fambulem, we all for help for push against them things there where they go on. Like I say, next week we go up much per the SLPP, the manifesto. Probably we will do a contrast. Yeah. Juxtapose the two manifesto, then the two-party manifesto them. Or compare and contrast them. Okay. Very, very well packaged document. I mean, I read this about 5 years ago and I was very impressed and I was very hopeful. I know they expect all of the things to be done. Of course, not even half of them to be done in the president's first 5 year. No, not at all. But I was very impressed with it. Still very impressed. But as at this time, not even 5% to 10% of waiting was promised inside the first 5 years, which is a difficult one. Again, because you get for negotiate 1 year before outsider then they begin for recognize their obligation then to you if they owe you or they want to give you money. Sometimes 2 years, depending on your obligation with other people, them your international commitments. This is the way it works. So all I they say, Fambulem, this has been just a short program for finally put to rest this propaganda. Not all of it, of course, because it will still continue, but we will try for take on them one by one. And while we research and find the right documentation for prove what we say, then we go after propaganda for turn about the lie them within the lie. Because they feel say if they lie enough, then it becomes truth. That's what's happening. Yes, saturate the media space with lie and make people and struggle forget the truth, which is about 5 or 10 or 15%. And that's unfair. The point here is the government today is struggling largely by its own making, and they try for blame somebody else, largely by its own making. I have always said, and I will continue for repeat this, the Sierra Leone People's Party is a heavyweight party. We know that. We've seen them in action, okay? But waiting with the city, which is a strain of the SLPP, is called Pauper. They don't isolate a number of the heavyweight people and we sabi how to run government. People and we understand the business of governance. Just look at them. You hardly find them in there. And then I make I say, a very heavy party, well decorated, not lack, yeah, in space and time and education and experience, skills and requirements, heavy. But because on the way to power, it was more like a root, almost like a coup, ruthless. Bang bang everybody else aside for put other than get this so today. So they isolate a lot of people along the way, either coercion, intimidation, or just outright brutality. We know that. We see some way play out na London. In one case, the police was even called. Even at that time, violence not been there, it been just head walk, one of the team they use. Just so an opponent of theirs, we been a whole and Lily meeting, so it not go forward and cook up a story like some violence, so that police go come and break up, yeah, the meeting. So family, when see, this is exactly what's been going on. At least don't they go on. So they're not find a way for limit with voices. We see what's happening inside parliament. People are not gonna let you talk about that. And that was last year. I mean the year before last. Because now 3.5 years this so. From the very beginning, about 3 or 4 times, we don't see fracas inside parliament. Because now the tension in the work for get your business pass. Because you don't have the majority. Now coercion, intimidation, that's what you use. And you don't rule like that because it's not a military junta. It's a democratic process. So if you try for silence with voices, it will be difficult because we are in the many. We are in the many. How do we disrupt the two system political party? Them, I think that's something where we for the kind of think about. I know it's Herculean, but it's doable. It's possible. It's not easy, but it can be done. How can we? We need for keep up with the back of our mind. Say these two party them their ideas are almost similar. They are almost hinged at the backside, both of them. How do we separate this? Earlier on, I talk about elevating the conversation, and me and you are the ones that are responsible for this. We get a parliament where it's almost non-functional. And when I say non-functional, because the way I suppose for function, it's not functioning as such. It's been led, it's been coerced, it's been co-opted. It's been co-opted. I think that's the right word. So this now exactly they happen that when they're supposed for rule for them people, they can't because they all are beholden to the system. And this system, within the play inside the na money, a lot of bribery, they all go inside the bribery, coercion, intimidation, bribery. But a lot of it has to do with bribery. Then it's una pay because na in want. Then give wardrobe allowance because na una want. They increase you petrol where you dey get, now you want. You per DM, then put you in a committee, the all committee, then they na mass na in the inside. Very lucrative, yeah, kind of job that they can forget waiting and send them people and send them there for, honestly. And this is unfair. Something has to change. Something will have to change. We continue for champion with voice for the people and talk against the status quo. The status quo need for change. It can't be the same. When then wire come out, the other one then can side. Sometimes then can do lily bit, and then the argument become that lily bit, that lily margin between the all two. Now then the argument they can but we do pass them one, then we make 3 road, then one and then a 2 9 then we make yeah, we build 1 hospital, then we build 4. Can you imagine that? In the 21st century, something actually, a need for change in our country. And we the people I repeat are responsible for then change there we suppose for take place. Fambulem, this na the TNN media empire. And me when they talk to una, na my name Prince Emil Koma. They come to una today, the 20th of February 2022. I just want to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue from Usai we left. Now, one game commercial break we get, and I just want member family. Listen, we get a wider reach. There are people listening to us globally, globally, and with the average 10,000 viewers per week. Per week. For us, we they aspire for do more and they hope for more, for multiply that number there by tenfold. But for now, this is what we have, and we go get for settle with this as we dey try for develop. Before then, we dey average about 30,000 a month. 30,000 a month. We just up down there to 42,000. Just look at the statistics today. 42,000, that means we don't increase by 12,000. You know, say some week you get 5. So on average, we say 10,000 per video. So 4 weeks could be something like 40,000. Something they can be up, something they can be down. So that's what we say average. So we they advertise. Forget about the political talk, who they talk. This is about our country. But we advertise. So if you get your business and you want to let your business reach more people, why not contact us and let us take charge for advertise your business so that it will reach far and wide and increase whether or not sales you do, money business, and whatever, it will increase. For now, again, we get many, many promises in the pipeline. Some people end up and do them videos. We are yet to receive them. Others then promise it. Definitely, they are looking into it and will begin to advertise. But for now, this is our only advert.
It shock you.
Wow, I like the setup and decor. Quite impressive.
You've not seen anything yet. Wait until you taste the food.
I can't wait.
Innocence. Money make you
Look at that.
I am sharper than knife, I am sharper than nail. Them are small like ant, I am bigger than whale. When Baba God don't lift you up, nobody will make you drop. Nobody will
In Brixton, we do more of African food and seafood as well. In Peckham, we do more of African food.
Party, a reception or function of any type, this is the place to do it. Just do your booking on time and we can book catering for you.
Yes, Fambulem. Welcome back to TNN TV Media Empire. Mina Prince Emil Kuma, they come to una live. So the conversation around the propagandists, them, we get for take on them. But when you take on them, remember say you get for come with factual statement just like we've just done. We've actually just shown you the EU document that the previous government, despite all the blame when they blame them for them, 2 bridges, then they not build the bridge. Oh, Anes Koma, they passed another bridge there 11 years now. And people and they died. The other day are almost for long and die. You know. They were on different projects, but that project, they certainly been there in mind. They had already had a bridge design. They had already negotiated a fund, and EU don't approve of the fund, don't give them the money, 214 billion leons. And this goes back like 2 years before then they lost power. 2 years before then they lost power. So this maxim that government is a continuation should be embraced by all. And una way just they scatter fake news and they try for blame the other and praise the other, which is not a bad thing in itself. But when you they try for downplay the other, you get for come out with something way factually truthful. You get for come up with evidence for back waiting you to say. Not all like in this case where it's like well they abandoned the bridge and not even do nothing. Look the other bridge for done. BOBO, then people have been on negotiate the money for the bridge. They had a design plan already and many other things. Another thing where the propagandists can say, I can see people and they mismatch the word and they can't debunk them. You can't debunk somebody with another lie. This is hilarious. Yeah, and they can't expose you. You expose person with a lie. How come that's exposing? Somebody definitely must be confused. Look, Papa government, if you listen, the people are wise and they're wising up by the day. Their messages there where we give is going far and wide. we understand the constraints of our people, especially when it comes to then live conversation there, that we people in our free town and all 99% of them cannot carry the burden for listening to even 30 minutes live program. But we do understand because they send messages back to us. Then when they wake able for breakthrough, send message. Look, listen, we would like to hear this message. We love the message, and more people are clamoring for it because sometimes the way the live one can, the people that can afford data can get crowd around them. We also they listen. They say try and break this down into MP3. In other words, convert your MP4, which in a video where they consume so much data, to MP3 with na voice, okay, audio. So once you break them down and send them to me, it go far and wide, and we go help for spread them. In fact, because the message is authentic. These are the kind of reviews that we have, and we try for do so. The only thing we make with the delay on that is we're not able to master how to put. It's not a big deal per se, but it just requires time. And say we know some computer business now try now we try for take the picture and put on top the voice message so that when the voice go out, when you begin to share them, you know automatically that this is T&N TV Media Empire and voice message, the audio, so people know exactly what they get. So if anybody out there knows exactly how to do that, please get in touch. The address and the phone number, they are there. Thank you very much. But the point here is the salon people and the wise up. They are really wising up. They're not going to have this any longer, not much longer. Not much longer. We see the other day, I mean, it's really pathetic. Let's be honest. People and they go around, I think that the minister of trade or whatever, in a show of strength, the worker at the middle of the streets, they go and force people them for cut down the prices of the price of iron rod. Well, all well and good, sir. But when you want effect that, say that for go along with your economy, not to so waiting na the exchange rate. Because I sure say these people them now according to how they go buy, now how then they sell with really profit pan tap. So yes, with people and they go through many things. But waiting at the exchange rate, have you managed to rein that in? I'm not talking about artificial exchange rate cutting down inflation number. We really not cut down because I don't tell we many a times say they don't cut down, but we not see that show up na the streets. Instead, prices continue for go up. So how did you cut? Because inflation they impact the goods and services then price. That make it continue for the go up. You don't get no control over your loans. Okay, we see the bank governor come and can't tell. We say he actually bribe. The man said it we only 68 million. Well, the intent been different. As if people the man not say bribe. As if we self not get yes for ye. That's exactly what the bank governor said, and that's what he did. Waiting for being separate with that, una we want make the argument for him is the tension. But instead, una they turn the talk say no, not so easy. You can make the argument on that basis as if people dumb. No, we're not. We are not. So, Mr. Minister, they go tell people there for bring the price can down. Well, all well and good, sir. You go do your homework. When you don't do your homework, then you can go challenge people them. Or na edict you they say not to force of, they go work at 21st century, they work at the middle of the street for go effect price change. So when you turn you back, then they put the price up. This is really pathetic. Because if you serious, say a letter now you send, on a telephone call, or now you emissary now you send, but you want to let them see that you work. Or Papa President said for CC, but this minister who employ is solid, they work. So you take to the street. You mean say na junta business. Now so now one run the country, let's say na junta business. They go intimidate people and they shop. Doesn't work that way, Mr. Minister, because the same thing when you done the people and turn back, there is the price up. And another thing is, the best thing you can do for win the hearts of the Sierra Leonean people is for bring the price of rice down. I think that most people are concerned about not to 10% or 15% way they build And mostly now una, Mr. Minister them and people them around una, we get money where they bill. Now so sometimes if you go fed for Brian Kandong, now una for una own benefit, not in behalf of the people, because over 75% of people they in poverty, they're not building at all. It's about 15-25% we get money where they build. Can you imagine that? So the real deal is waiting to affect everybody. Where now the price of rice, where now we staple food, where all man they eat. If now you been go knock chest for so, sometimes people have been clap for you. So most people just team up no more they look you iron rod price. Reduce them by 10%. Oh yes, we will, sir. Yeah, 10%. So that it only benefits una where now they get money. Now they thief all the money, then they go bill back. Now, on our own behalf, now you go fed for. If you really be one fed for the people, them, now price of rice now for Kandong. And when the price of rice they Kandong, and we be not talk about this from 2 years ago because it seemed like this is going to be a strategy. As election they loom, of course you want win the hearts and minds of people. Then you go begin for ease the burden. You go begin for do something like quantitative easing for pump money into the economy, which is artificial because at some point you'd expect them for grow, but because there's no growth mechanism. Yeah. So you go have to continue for do that. And you not get that kind of fantastic money. So it's gonna be time scale towards a particular time. And I believe say not far again. You go see rest go just become abundant in the city. Some of una not go even believe not in the city, in the country. Una not go even believe who side the rest come out. But obviously people are angry and then it's cheap, so people will go for it. But this will be the government doing this. But you not do them all of the 4 years. And Salon people them una need for wise up. And I'm sure you guys are wising up by the day that all the lily tricks they under the book is not going to work. Of course, you get for it, so you eat. But that not for fool you for another 5 years. And this is the message for una. Enough for fool una for 5 years. One bag rest where you go buy now, it turn to 200,000. Then you go make mistake, you vote for the same again. Then after you don't vote down, then the price go back to 500, if not even more. Now the economics now you for the look at. That's what you need to be studying, not the artificial things then that they are going to be doing, which is coming soon. It's coming. I promise you this. We talked about it some 3 years ago that this is what's going to happen. Yeah. Suddenly it go turn like say when at the time the Toma bomb project don't ripe enough and they all this rest they come out, whereas it could have come from somewhere else. You know, it could have come from somewhere else. So Fambulem, this is exactly what he would say. We cannot continue for let people in a fool we on them base there. And like I say again, there's a paradigm shift anyway, there's a cultural shift. That Salon people and just they wait for a time for make right decision. And this is why we provide the information so people at least actions that they take will be on the basis of information where they get and then go reason this out for themselves. But this is certainly going to happen. It's going to happen. Suddenly, prices go just go down. Yeah, this morning on a gap, first time on a gap, every morning the price don't go up. This time, every time on a gap, price don't go down. And it will just count down. It will count down by 5,000 leons, 10,000 leons, just like that over a period of time. And you forget effect, psychologically on you. It's like, wow, things are, kind of changing. Don't be fooled. Don't be tricked. Don't be tricked. And that would say, study the economics yourself. See the reality. It's a good thing when government bring prices of goods and services down, but it's been like 4 years in the making. Is it only towards election time that suddenly government find the means, for bring prices down? Waiting actually they behind that? Those are the kind of questions you should be asking yourself and seeking answers. Okay. Another point where I want to make to Salon people, and I they close the program soon, is into the government. Is the Kamaremba issue. We'll never forget the Kamaremba issue. We will never forget the Kamaremba issue. You see, you might not to it mean strength, because we know already that you are powerful. All the instruments of state belongs to you. So you have to be magnanimous in the way you conduct yourself towards your citizenry. Even people are opposed to you. Even people are opposed to you. You have to find a way on how to deal with them. What are they opposing? Why do you feel so threatened by somebody opposing you for all the right reasons? Because what Mr. Kamarimba Mansari was saying was actually true. And this is what we've seen with our very own eyes. Prices of goods and services unaffordable for the people, job opportunities lacking, and the means of survival, health facilities, everything just look poor. And these are the things that the guy was outlining, and massive corruption at the heart of government. He pointed out this to us, the first lady's office, the president's office, and he was not alone. Carl said the same thing. The Africanist press has been continuously pommeling this message home continuously. So there's a sequence there, there's a linkage there, there's a connection. Everything kind of sync. And these are your citizens saying it. What's the best way to address this? Is it not to change? Instead of exercising some kind of power by grabbing somebody and unjudiciously jailing them. 3 Christmas now, the man spent away from his family and in picking them in parents. Old woman the other day almost drew me to tears. They plead to you, Papa President, you know the powerful man. Today you can sign an edict, say, your commute sentence of Kamarimba. As from today, is a free man. What are you waiting for? It's probably against something that's going to happen in a dramatic way, because we don't see boku boku drama. Whenever something's supposed to happen, we can see one drama. It's a pattern. We just see the LEC program the other day. Bab, something is supposed to happen. The mayor, Bab, like Taylor, there happen some kind of a drama. So maybe the Kamarimba story will be the final drama. But I don't think Kamarimba will change, because if he come out and change, not die, which is a near possibility, because all the reports will get that he is sick. That finally when they left him, just like the other MP with them, or former MP Kiru, the guy from Frobe or somewhere, when they left him, we will die. Imagine, it might be the same with Kamarimba. It might come out, here like weak and battered and going to die slowly. It's possible. Yeah. So the best way for address the issue there are for reform. You have to reform, Mr. President. You have to look inner, not always outer, except there is an inherent intention for plunder and loot the state. And I'm not laying this accusation at you, sir. I know you're a very powerful man. I'm just, you're kind of saying some of the things that are happening, the way for commute them or for dilute them, and for address the issues. If you listen to your people, your way they complain, you're not going to give them back talk. They say you they fly too much. I go continue for fly. I will continue for fly. Oh, you fly, what do you bring? And every time when you fly, there's a tremor and consolidated revenue fund. The fund they shake because the president they travel, and you know what I mean. Yeah. So you flew all those times, and imagine this was a time when barely nobody not been the travel, especially world leader. Then before I say you people, now they tell you been the travel left, right, and center. So things then where you for don't save money, and according to what you promise we now income remember in the highlight back. Executive order number 1. All the rules the way you pass, the law and the way you pass. For a day. This is why I say the man in a manifesto, it be so clean and so good. Yeah. Family, if you not be no read them, I beg una read them. Una read them. Like I say, we go do a hair splitting moment with this. Now, one part of the one read regarding executive number 1, order number 1, cut down and reining the budget. It promise a host of things then we then go do. Beautifully written. It's unbelievable that then do almost everything in reverse or the opposite. That's what they did. It's like government delegation. If it's not necessary, then not go. If government minister is necessary for let it go, then we'll go for cut down on the delegation. Only the appropriate person will go. Then even revert or resort to virtual meetings, which most countries them they do, and especially when you try for cut down austerity. Yeah, for rainy you Don't be obsessive. Okay. So so the video got frozen there a bit. Mr. President, all we are saying is when you get criticized, no seize the people that rise you, not seize them. Embrace them. Listen to what they say. Because on most occasions, the criticisms are right. I mean, it can be stinging, not to everybody like criticism, so it can be a stinging criticism. But the basis on which they do now for your own good and for country and good, they identify them. Especially people that are opposed to you. This is their business to oppose what the president do. Even when you do good things, then go try for oppose them for make sure you do them right. You do them right. And much more, you're not doing these things, so it becomes a problem, sir. This actually becomes a problem. So all we are saying, Papa President, is try and listen to your people. There's not much time for you, though. You get very short time now. Office left about less than 16 months for go. You know, say they make frantic efforts for regain state house and win. But that decision they largely lie with the people of the republic, and the decision will be made on the basis of how you perform in the last 5 years. And the prognosis for the last 5 years is it's not good. It's not good at all, sir. And this is just a fact. It's not good at all. But maybe within the last couple of months, like we say, there might be noticeable changes. We just advise people then for take note of artificial changes, potentially artificial changes. And we want sustainable ones, not to just go win the election on them basis then they. Other than that, that would be unfair to the Sierra Leonean people. But we are saying that the fate of the country, it lies in the hands of the people. And that decision will be made in a couple of months' time. And Sierra Leoneans are calling you to be wise in your thoughts, in your actions. Vote wisely, not vote out of sentiment. And this goes to the supporters of e-government. And will they take note of una? Let's be honest. Naimika asked the question earlier. Why do you continue for government without even criticizing once? You continue for support the government, even when the government not they do well. Even when the government not they do well, you continue for support the government. The question is why? I mean, it beats the mind of a lot of people as to why. But like I say, sample study reveal affiliation, either tribally or regionally. This is it. Because if we want base them on policies we get the capacity for change the livelihood of we people them, and you're not effective, it's not working, you won't continue for the criticize and hold government accountable just like people like us do, which is a constitutional duty. I know people find this difficult, but again, you need to go read your constitution and see just what people like us doing is backed by the law. The law, the supreme law of the country, is backed by it. There's also a civic responsibility on the part of nationals for holding government accountable, hold their foot to the fire, especially when they perform well. Even when they perform, because our expectations is for not only the good, not only for the better, but the best. That's why we continue for whole government to account. Ladies and gentlemen, I think those of you watching on YouTube, I think there's almost 100 of you. Una need for begin for wind down now because I can hit for just go off the program because the program effectively has come to an end. So we'll begin the one year for the of the program while you get good number of people that watch you both on YouTube and Facebook. So this is the point that I'm trying to make. Okay, in Sierra Leoneans, this is not a message for Una. Think wisely, vote wisely. To the propagandist, we don't debunk one propaganda today. When about this bridge or these two bridges, we know say money be not allocate for them 214 billion. I show a picture of myself, and once more, for the sake of the audience, I go try show one back. Yeah, I go try show one back. So this is okay. This is me here. Part of the project where they talk about, okay, this is not the Magbele bridge, both and the new side propagandists them for 11 years. And it's come and they pass now this bridge up and down. Up Bilam, people and die. The other day I go, they almost die. Yeah. Of course, he not Bilam, but of course, he been get on my mind. Of course, he may not negotiate money for him. 214 billion amounting to 40 million or 47 million euro allocated for major projects in the south, Moyamba Junction, all the roads them. Now, this is me here back in 2016 on one of the road projects, and this night lead to the ferry for go Otifunk. I was on my way back to my ancestral town. So this is me there. Okay. 2016, and that's the road project. And this is me here. This is me here pointing to the Mabang Bridge, the one we've been on for long. Okay. And as a child, I rode over this bridge hundreds of times because, like I tell people, I'm on train. Look the train station, who's up on a Dove Court, look the train station. So we just go jump inside the train. Every weekend, we are gone. Imagine for years. So hundreds of times I rode over this bridge, emotionally connected to the bridge. And this is me here in a dugout canoe. Yeah. They wait for the ferry because we missed the ferry. That one, the ferry they be, and we will miss them. I meet him up soon at the back. So this is it, Fambulem. I mean, when we talk with evidence, and I don't show una also the EU paper. Una go to the EU website, una go look up for yourself, so una see exactly when this bridge then be negotiate money then for them and how them don't give them, how project design be already done day and things like that. And when you go to the government website, you know, yeah, then get one way then call how then call I think now I think na government website, I believe. Is it the National Audit Office or some other name anyway? But I get relationship with this and project them. Nowhere there they mention the time. And there's a reason why they did not. There's actually a reason why they not mention the time. Because if they do, then they will be out in the propagandists them. And because they not do, now make back the whole them responsible because that will not have given the propagandists then time for letting they go and all waiting and they say so now social media they lie to people them. That would have been practically impossible if you know what I mean. So ladies and gentlemen, I mean we've done an hour and 15 minutes of the program. I meant to do only an hour. The number still increase in need for decrease, or I'm going to sign off. And we come this week, today Sunday, with the SLPP manifesto. Very brilliant manifesto. New direction and color. New direction. That's what won the hearts and minds of people and was upset with the All People's Congress because, I mean, at some points they were doing so awfully in government, just looking after themselves, forgetting about the people and were putting. That's what happened. 11 years, they became complacent. They become real back. It was all about them. And then pull eye on the main ball, on the golden goose, and SLPP come and capture them. Unfortunately for SLPP, they're not doing quite well. Had they been doing quite well, then the conversation that we'll be having here tonight will have been completely different. Completely different. With the hope for bring the consortium of progressive political parties, maybe leadership very soon. We look forward to Madam Femi Claudius Cole, who don't appear on this platform many a times. And we'll get in touch with her soon because we understand it and take a certain message to the people. We'll go and talk to him about that. So you're able to explain to we and use the platform as well for try for reach the people more. Next week we say the election, the manifesto, new direction. And finally, this same week, we get a program they come on what we call Usa we go here, where then we can prepare. That would be something of the title. It's going to be serious. It's going to be very, very interesting. And when they up the game, like I say, we elevate the conversation because why? We people need to be informed. And inform we shall do with we people them. We not forget This thing that they work again, this propaganda, people's eyes are wide open, their ears are wide open. Lunge Bridge, electric train, 2 million jobs, diagnostic center, Econ Solar Light, Bill Gates investment, Shabro City, Freetown Coastal Road, in December investment, Kenema City, Tapalapa Bakery, new airport for both Kenema and Banff, 200 garbage trucks, conference center in Freetown, shopping mall in Freetown, ultra modern office spaces for MDAs, new state house in Freetown, new cities, 2 in Freetown and 1 in Lunge, cold room facilities in every headquarter towns, fish harbor complexes, agro processing, Bicogno hydro project, 50 investors from South Africa. I mean, where are they? So family, I go left on that basis day. Una self make the judgment. Thank you very much for listening. Until next week. Happy Monday. Bye everyone. Bye. Oh dear.